Some of the content may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. If you are experiencing a mental health crisis, please seek immediate assistance by calling your local emergency services or contacting a mental health crisis hotline. This information is not intended to be a substitute for professional mental health advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult a qualified mental health professional for any questions or concerns you may have regarding your mental health. This is Psyched Out, honest conversations about mental health with registered psychologists Lyndsay and Stephen.
I want to thank you for being honest with me.
You're welcome.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
The tree thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll always be honest with you.
Why didn't you tell me earlier?
Because I thought your aim was children.
No, I told you I need more adults a long time ago.
You said I would like to work with more adults and I currently work with a lot of kids. Mm-hmm. So I assumed you were getting your adult fix here.
Oh, I want my practice to have more adults.
And then you wanted your practice to be child therapy.
I want it to be everything now.
Okay. I didn't know. Little Tree's perfect.
It's like if you saw Little Tree, would you go there as an adult?
No.
No?
I mean, I probably...
Even if you looked, obviously you could see the therapist.
If I was skimming through Google who's in my area, I might go past it. If somebody referred Little Tree to me and I went to the page and then dug around into what you offer.
It doesn't say child psychologist under there.
Little Tree.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go with Canopy, I think.
I don't think of trees.
I know, but whatever. I don't care what the name is. It just needs to not be little.
Something tree related, but as an adult.
But the canopy of the forest.
I got you. But I'm not going to make that association.
I know. I'm largely unconcerned with the association component. I just want it to not be little sounding. Whatever. It doesn't need to be a nice name. It just needs to be a name. It's not little. Timberland therapy.
What is a really strong tree?
Like a redwood?
Or fir or spruce or...
Spruce psychology?
Yeah.
Spruce Grove. Sherwood Forest psychology. I don't know.
You could just call it Sherwood psychology.
Is there a Sherwood psychology?
No.
Sherwood.
There you go.
Got it. Yeah.
You could call it Sherwood Park psychology.
I wonder if there is a Sherwood Park psychology.
As long as the name isn't taken.
I don't think so. That cannot be true. Is it no Sherwood Park psychology?
It would mean that you couldn't expand into anywhere else because your name is literally Sherwood Park.
It's Strathcona psychology because Strathcona is also in Edmonton.
Sure.
Anyways, the point is that I now feel like I'm pigeonholed slightly and I need to expand. I don't know how to create this shell company without having to redo everything. But I guess it's really just simply creating different ads, right?
Yeah.
And do a little bit of branding on the website of both.
Yeah.
Okay. Ultimately, Little Tree's still the holding company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you just tell people in the session, right? The invoice will say Little Tree on it because that's what the legal business name is.
Right. That's a good point. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll do Summit Counseling Psychology.
That's confusing.
I know.
And Summit Psychology was my first pick and it's taken.
It's in Calgary. Or no, it's in Innisfail.
Yeah, it's somewhere nowhere.
You should buy her. Come on.
What?
You should buy her. It's Innisfail.
And when I went to go register the name, she had it for I don't even know, 3 months.
Oh, you can commandeer domains that are not older than however long.
Well, she had it before me. I'm not going to be like that.
You should buy her out. Hostile takeover.
No.
Mike, students in Wainwright. I'm going to have a location in Wainwright. Legit.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what's going to happen.
So prairie psychology?
Yeah, something like that. I'll just be remote services.
There's a way to make it work. Is there a specific name for a river that runs through a mountain?
The type or just a actual name of a river that runs through a mountain?
No, a type. Is there
I don't know, maybe. I'm not really I'm not a geologist.
I'm just going with the nature tree theme, okay?
I do like the nature tree thing. I'll figure it out. I'll get Rachel to do it.
But I think that's your easiest bet. You don't have to do anything with the business.
No.
You can easily change the name on top of the website.
Yeah, just to both.
Right? Because you can call your business whatever. Mm-hmm. It does not have to be with the legal, because some people's business legal name is like 104285881, but they run.
Oh yeah, my business is a numbered business.
Oh, mine is called Summit Counseling Services.
Oh no, it isn't. It was numbered, but it was sole proprietor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can just do a redirect, right?
Yeah.
Like you can buy the domain and have it automatically redirect, and then just have the name there too.
Because my old domain was Summit Counseling Services Edmonton, and I was like, that's long.
Yeah.
I don't want that. So I have the domain still, but it forwards to Summit CS, and then anything very old that still had that website as linked to it takes you to Summit CS now.
That's cool. Maybe you're just a better business owner than me.
I have a couple more years ahead of you of painful learning.
Well, anyways, Mind Buffs in Sherwood Park charges $250 for their co-founder.
Which one?
Sports psychologist, Mind Buffs.
But Matt or Alex?
Matt. You know Matt, right?
I met him at our like networking event in St. Albert.
I went to school with him. I also worked with him at UIFC.
Yeah. Is he cool?
Yeah, he's a nice guy. He's a pretty ethical dude.
Yeah.
It's like very obviously a sports psychology clinic. It's very like geared towards that. But they obviously see everyone. But he charges $250. Everyone else $220.
Even the other co-founder charges $220?
Oh, there's two? I didn't notice. I didn't look at the other one. I know he does.
I know Alex, the other co-founder, more than I know Matt.
Oh, yeah, I'd have to check. But I know that I'm moving my rate up, but just for me.
You're moving your rate up? I'm mulling it over.
I'm doing it not because I want more, because I want actually to defer.
It's kind of what I'm hoping would happen. You could wait 3 months to see me at this rate, or I can get you another therapist who's just as good.
Yeah,
I'm not the only one who's great.
Who's got more experience than me, actually. It just isn't registered.
Yeah. I don't know. I have spent a lot of money in training.
Yeah.
And there are lots of our psychs who have not. So I don't know why.
Yeah, like me.
You've done trainings?
Oh, I've done trainings, just not as much as you.
Oh, yeah.
I also don't believe in the gatekeeping nature of the training. Like in terms of like, for example, like I'm not going to pay to go to the Gottman thing when I can read the giant fucking manual, which I did. Yeah,
I was a bit annoyed. Art was like $3,000.
Yeah. So am I officially certified Gottman? No. Do I know Gottman as well as any other psychologist? Yes.
Yeah. I don't know that I like how expensive they make it for us to do it. I just did a training in EMDR for sports psych, and I really loved it, actually. And it argued for, which I've been doing already, but it was good to feel validated. In vivo stuff to go where they're going.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And I was like, yes, I've already been doing it. So
yeah, if you can make the argument that like that for some reason we're a better profession because we're the only one that requires paid trainings to be a competent therapist, like a clinician, practitioner, then sure. But we're the only one that requires paid trainings postgraduate.
I wish there were more options of like,
if you're a physician, you just do your residency and you work on the job and you learn. If you're a physiotherapist. But I
think they still have to do trainings outside of that. You'd still have to go to conferences and stuff.
They're not paid. They're free conferences. You're not paying for a certificate, a gatekept certificate. It's the ethical duty of the medical community to provide best practices to all the physicians to provide best care, not to gatekeep it. Think about that for a second. Like imagine there's a new like surgical technique that can like really drastically improve spinal function after injury. It's like, nope, you can't know this until like, no, there'd be an outcry. Be like, no, every surgeon needs to know this like right now. Right. It's ridiculous.
True. Yeah. They're not going to go, you can keep doing what you're doing, but this kills people. So if you want to pay money.
Like the rate of paralysis after this surgery is like 50-50. We got it up to 80, but you got to pay $25,000 to know the technique. Bullshit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not into it. I'm over it. Anyways, what are we talking about today? Psyched Out.
It's just a me and you day, which is nice. After 20 minutes of dumping into the garbage can, we're going to talk about this meme picture that I sent you.
Gaber Matt. Gabor Mate.
I know.
Gaber Matt.
They put the thing there. There's a little "t" on top of the E. More spicy topics that divide therapists starter pack is the meme that
starter pack, yeah, because we get divided all the time. You and I
sent Stephen, and he was like, "Oh, that's fun." So we're gonna do that today.
Even though you and I have like a particularly adversarial bond at times, but a sacred one in which we cannot discuss.
Sure, I think it's kind of like siblings. You drive me crazy.
Yeah, I can see you as like a sister.
Yeah.
Except I get.
But also, I got your back, right? Like it's kind of like that.
Yeah, we never had like the trauma of having to grow up and hate each other.
No,
we just got to be siblings later.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's our topic for today.
Yeah. Where did you find this?
They posted it in that site group.
Of course. Oh, speaking of which, for all our listeners, many psychologists, the Discord has started.
Oh.
Yeah, I need to like finish doing all the categories, but the Discord is set up. It's Edmonton Psychologist Discord group.
Okay.
So the Discord group includes several, like for those of you who don't know Discord, it's you have a channel. You can have the Discord app and you can subscribe to any channel you want in the world. And those channels have subtopic areas in them, right? So like, for example, my brother who was on the podcast has a game channel. So if I go to his channel, he has like 17 different topics. He's got like a chat thread for the games he develops. That's where people talk about that. He's got a subtopic for when he's playing games and streaming. You can talk about him streaming there. He's got a voice channel where you can just literally talk on there. So that's how kind of is structured.
Okay. Can it be private though?
It's private. Okay. Yeah. No one can join unless they're invited.
So can I join right now or do I have to wait?
No, I haven't started the link yet.
And then you're going to post it on the site.
I'm going to try and post it and get everyone involved. But I was thinking we have it broken down into referrals sub-channel. Okay. That's the only place you talk about referrals. Nothing else goes there.
Yep.
Consultation sub-channel. This is where you consult about difficult topics. And then there's a channel for actual talking. Hey, I need to talk about this like right now. Like I need help working through this process. And the best thing about Discord is you can just literally hit the talk button and you'll just talk to that person.
Cool.
Right? Like online.
Nice.
Right? And so there's like consultation, referrals, chatting. I was thinking like business promotion. I don't know. Like there's a bunch of different topics we could come up with.
Sure. I would do one for like continuing education, training, resources for clients,
Yeah. Like, and then I was thinking maybe a couple on like very specific popular modalities, like couples counseling.
Yeah.
Right. So anyways,
child therapy.
They
always ask for you.
Ethics. So this is what Discord was built for.
Sure.
Facebook cannot handle what we're doing because the feeds get lost and like.
I know, and then I have to search. Somebody once told me about a PN7. Now I got to go up to the top and search PN7, but it's going to give me something from 4 years ago, which isn't what I was looking for. Yeah.
And this is literally why Discord was created. It was for people to be able to, it was initially for games, but it's made to have subcategories. Yeah. It is ready to go. So I'm going to figure out the best way because at your dinner, people seem to be pretty interested. So
I'm interested.
Yeah. Okay.
Our group would be interested. I think if you put it in the EdPsych group, there'd be lots of people there interested.
Yep.
And in the private practice group, there'd be people there interested.
And the provisional group.
Yeah.
Especially. Provisional section.
Hiring could be its own section. So when I don't have to post in that site group and say, we're bringing on another therapist. If you're interested, I could just put it in that one category.
Hiring, consult. Yeah, I had these written down. Ethics, provisionals. What else did we say? Consultation.
Resources. You have continuing ed?
Continuing ed. Yeah.
Or training, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. And then ethics. Okay. So yeah. Okay. That's a lot. That's good for now. We can always add more later.
All right. So that's what we're talking about. The things that therapists argue about. So starter pack.
The starter pack. Is there like a level 2, generation 2? Like
I think this was
Pokemon
part 1
cards?
And there was a part 2. I haven't found the part 2 yet, but whether or not to pursue a doctorate.
Oh, I have feelings about this.
That's the point. Yeah.
Who wants to go first with that one?
You can. You have feelings.
It's really complicated in Alberta.
Yeah.
Because like whether or not to pursue a doctorate. So if anyone doesn't know, because if you're living in the US, which we do have US listeners, you are required to have a doctorate to be called a psychologist in the US. But most people get master's level counseling in the US, but they call themselves clinical counselors, like registered clinical counselor.
Or marriage and family therapist.
So that's kind of like the title that United States master's level psychologists use. In Canada, every province...
Master's level therapists.
Yeah. Every province has its own... it's not federally regulated, so every province has its own like level of requirement. And so Alberta, Saskatchewan, Northwest Territories, Yukon, a couple more, only require a master's level to be able to register as a psychologist. Kind of like a physiotherapy, you only need a master's. But you can get a doctorate in Alberta, but it doesn't actually do anything else for you. Like you can't be you don't get a higher designation from our college or our body. We're all just registered psychologists, regardless of like master's or doctorate. So I'm kind of torn because like, I think I think like in like government positions, they typically ask for someone who is a registered psychologist with a doctorate generally. I don't know why, but they do. I think they just kind of delineates like expertise, I suppose. But like the doctorates that we get here aren't clinical doctorates. Like they're more research based, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know the difference in getting a doctorate. I'm not sure how it would help you more.
And I think it depends on where you want to go with it. If you just want to have a PhD on your name, then yeah. But
you would have to, there's two though. There's like PhD and there's PsyD.
Yeah, sure.
So one is.
But like, either way, you're getting a doctorate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
To me, it feels a bit, what's the word? Classist? Like.
It is classist, but then again, like, so is master's.
Right, but in the sense that if I want to teach at a college, I can't.
You can though.
No, I can't.
Well, they'll still do it. They've hired master's level instructors.
They'll hire master as like an associate or as a temporary.
Right, you can't be a tenured professor. But I think that's like, that goes so far beyond psychology. That's like just like the clout of academia has always been that way.
Sure. That annoys me. It makes me not want to get it just for that fact. But also, and I had contemplated going for a PhD after my master's. And then I realized it has nothing to do with my clinical skills. It would not, I would be very, very knowledgeable on the one area I did my dissertation in. It would not make me better at other things.
No, I agree. And I think that this was the reasoning for the decision to not require, because I don't think this was done on a whim. I'm fairly certain that most research suggests that clinical outcomes are indistinguishable from master's and PhD level clinicians. I'm fairly certain that's the evidence, the literature.
And I think it's like person based, right?
Yeah.
Someone with a master's level, I love to learn. I take trainings that are part of my niche. I would never work in an area I don't feel competent in. Like I'm doing what I need to do. And there are some master's levels or PhD level therapists that don't.
Yeah. The concern is that like, I think you inadvertently, and I want a PhD for this reason, you inadvertently create a bit of like a hierarchy of competency that the layperson, that the public would see differently.
Yeah, but I don't think you are any more competent than
You're not more competent, but I think you can leverage that as being like, I'm the clinical director, I'm doctor, whatever.
Yeah, there's some clout to it. I also would have done it for the ability to easily transfer to a different location.
So they have some grandfathering rules which are allowed, but like in BC, for example, you do require a PhD, but I think you can go there as a master's level.
With assessments.
Yeah. Yeah. It's complicated. I'm really torn on it because I think that I do think there's a bit of saturation with schools in terms of like how many master's level clinicians or therapists are getting pumped out. Like, for example, my school has 4 cohorts now, and they only had 1 when I went. So we had one of like 15, and now there's like 4.5, 5.
It is becoming a little bit
like there's too many mental health therapists. I think that might
be why they're upping the EPPP hardness,
which is good. I do think that we water down the competency, and this is kind of my problem sometimes. Is I think I'm not suggesting that I'm like some God-given talented therapist, but I can say with like disconcerting certainty that I have heard too many people come in here and give me a list of like fairly questionable interventions from other practitioners, or like that was extremely unhelpful, or this person did this, or this person did that. And I'm like, sure, that's a possibility that that's just that person. But I think the thing is when you have more clinicians, the propensity at this level to make more mistakes is higher. And in the aggregate, it's starting to like show that you have people who are competent enough, but also like making big mistakes.
And then it's harmful to
the public. But then you got to leverage that with like, access to mental health services, right?
But would that change with doctorate? I don't think so.
No, but I think what it would do is it would make it more difficult to get into the profession, into this position, which I think would make somebody more prone to making sure that they were like, there's more supervision obviously associated with it. So like, I think you can't get away with the same things. Maybe, I don't know. It's just difficult. I think it would just lessen the amount of people in the profession, which might make it more, I don't know, higher quality. I don't know. It's tough. Cause like, I just think we're a little saturated because we kind of let like a lot of people through.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I don't know that you can quality control all of those people.
I mean, a lot of them don't register, right? Because that's a big barrier because the test is difficult and it is for PhD level. It was developed for PhD level practitioners.
And you have to pay for supervision.
And
it's a lot of supervision. And
now it's going up 2 hours. 2 hours. It's basically why they would go 2 for 10, not just, reduce the ratio 1 to 5. Clearly math is not a part.
But that's the same as practicum students. So it feels like
maybe they understand that there's a saturation
or is it that they've had enough complaints about provisionals that they decided you need a little bit more supervision than you currently have?
Yeah, I think the thing is like the college is not able to regulate what the schools do. So the schools can pump out as many master's level therapists as they want. They don't have to register, so they have no jurisdiction, right? The college has no jurisdiction. So you can work as an MH.
therapist.
What's that? Yeah. Well, anyone can hang a shingle and be like psychotherapist.
Yeah.
Right. And that's very confusing. So
yeah,
I don't know.
That's gross. Okay. Are any of these like you have to talk about them? Because I've got 3 that I love and we're running out of time. Maybe 4.
We're not going to run out of time. It's 12:10.
I got to be done at 12:30.
Oh, I didn't know that. Why didn't you tell me that?
I did.
You did not.
Okay. I probably didn't.
Where do you have to go?
Arden's here with Josh.
He's fine. He can wait.
They were here at noon. I'm making them wait till 12:30.
The hell, Lyndsay? I thought we had till 1.
We can make him wait a little bit longer than 12:30, but he's here just sitting around.
These are your options. We either make them wait a little bit longer or we're having a part 2 to this.
I'm okay with the part 2 too. Okay. Do you have the ones you love?
Yeah, there's some I like, but I want you to go because I talked a lot.
Okay. Appropriate split for working in a group practice.
What do you mean by that? Appropriate split?
60-40, 50-50, 70-30. If you're a contractor in a group practice, what's the appropriate split?
75-25. Contractor gets 25. That's the one that's most common, right?
No.
Are you sure?
Who charges that?
Come on. Contractor gets 25%. $45, $50.
Oh, okay. There are some places that do that.
Yeah. I think, okay, here's my thought. It is not like, it's not like you just get half the money in my pocket. A, I got to pay taxes on that. B, it costs money to have somebody be at your practice. You don't just get all that money. You got to advertise, you got to pay for other things. Like running a business costs money. So like you're not getting 50% of the money. That contractor is pocketing 50% with basically no additional costs. Right?
I agree. I think some people don't understand how expensive it is to run a group practice. I believe 60-40 split is fair.
Yeah, I'm of the mindset of like 50 to 60, no more, no less.
And if the business is getting 40% of that, that's profit. Anywhere from maybe 5 to 10% by the end of it. Like,
yeah, because you got to pay rent, you got to pay for all the software, the ads, banking. It's just a business at that point. Yeah. Business expense. So you can't give I think some practitioners are like, well, why can't I have like 80%? You're getting like $50 a session. I'm like, well, that $50 is gone. Like there's no profit and there has to be some profit, right? Or it's not worth it. Or I guess you could just do no profit model, but I mean, that's hard to stay afloat then, right?
Yeah, I still wish that we just make it part of Alberta healthcare and call it a day, but I don't see that happening.
Doesn't happen anywhere, so.
Anyway, so that was one. I love this one because it is actually my question. What are we supposed to be doing on LinkedIn?
Wait, is that one of these?
Yeah.
So LinkedIn is just a glorified social media. People post about their families on there now.
I have it. And don't even remember the password.
Mine's just saved in my keychain.
I can't remember the last time I logged in. Summit is on it, and I can't link Summit to my personal profile as my own business.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
What's the point of LinkedIn? Why am I on here?
It's just like the Abigail software, Allendale. I don't know.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
The stupid new one. It's literally just a duplicate. For businesses. Anyways, I don't know what LinkedIn's for. I think at one time it was a place where people didn't have to have resumes because it's there, but now it's just Facebook for boomers. It's Facebook for for Gen X and boomers.
I get spammed constantly on there.
Yeah. And it costs $700 to have a post for a month.
Oh, for like a job posting?
That's insane. $700. I accidentally did it and Jess was not happy. I was like, Jess, she's like, what's $700 charge from LinkedIn? I was like, oh no.
I made the mistake on Indeed doing that where I posted it and didn't realize I had pushed the like sponsor this.
Yeah.
And it's $1 for every person that
I know, but they don't like, it's from like, they're from other countries and stuff.
So it was, yeah. So for a day, they're like, you have spent $80. I'm like, on what?
On what? Yeah.
And then I look and I've got 400 resumes and none of them actually live in Alberta. I'm like, what just happened?
I know. LinkedIn is the worst. It's become there's such a rot and a bloat at the same time.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing with it. I have it. I don't know why.
Nothing. You're supposed to do nothing with it. It's useless. It's literally the most redundant, useless platform.
Here's a good one.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely fucking everything to do with self-disclosure.
Like you shouldn't do that.
That's why we fight about it. There's no...
Well, do you self-disclose?
I do when it's necessary and I think it would be helpful.
I do when I feel like I need my therapy. I'm kidding. I don't do that.
That's your like orange flag. Oh, I know I need to go.
No, I'm kidding.
I try. Sometimes I'll like self-disclose and then stop and go, why the hell did I say that? And then that's my stuff I have to go look at. But it's never anything like crazy personal, but I will self-disclose if it's like, if I feel it's going to either validate your experience or better explain the intervention I'm trying to explain to you.
Yeah.
So when I'm explaining accelerated resolution therapy, I'll usually disclose my experience in the training having it done to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Saying like, disclosing that you were super tired during session because you're all up all night digging a shallow grave, that's probably not like...
No, I wouldn't do that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think no self-disclosure hinders the relationship.
Yeah. I tell people I'm married. I mean, they can tell, obviously, but like I say I'm married. I say I have kids. I use my children as examples. Like, listen, like sometimes it's hard. Like I know
my kid,
my kid's difficult. Like my kid does this. Like it's okay. Yeah. Or like I say, like this was what happened. I met my wife on Tinder. Like it's normal. It's fine, right? Yep. Like those are the disclosures I make. I'm not like I swipe right to every single person. That's how I met my wife.
Yeah. Or let me spend the next 20 minutes telling you my story. That's a pet peeve of mine. There are some therapists that I've experienced who
saturation.
Yeah. Who self-disclose for half the session.
That's a problem.
And I'm the client going, when is it my turn to talk?
Yep.
Are you done your story?
Yeah. It's funny. I actually one time had somebody, because I wasn't self-disclosing. I had an opinion on something and I thought it was actually like a therapeutic opinion. Mm-hmm. I thought it was because it was like the whole point was like coping with a difficult situation that has no good outcome. And I'm like, well, I think this is actually might be what the problem is, which maybe came across as opinion. But that person was like, I don't feel like I am appreciating what you're saying. I don't think I'm here to find out what your opinion is. And I was like, well, I didn't think it was an opinion, but apparently it came across that way. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a kind of self-disclosure that's sneaky, right?
Mm-hmm. And what a beautiful like therapeutic moment to explore that.
Yeah. And like, I think I still, because it had landed before with other, because I've had same people with the same problem. And it's not like, it wasn't about me, but like, it was an opinion I had about something, I guess, technically, mm-hmm. but it was meant to be in like a normalizing and sort of, an opinion reassuring sort of way. Mm-hmm. Cause you can like, be like, I think this is actually how the problem is in the world. Like you probably don't need to worry about that as much because I think you're myopic in that, in your opinion. So I'm giving you what I think might be the alternative hypothesis, mm-hmm. but they just saw it as straight up as an opinion. Mm-hmm. And it had worked with many other people before because it's a some common problem, but it did not work with that person. Yeah.
And I think that it's funny because some people will come in wanting your opinion. Tell me what to do.
And I don't. When they say that, I don't. I'm like, I don't.
That's not what I'm here for. What do you think you should do?
Yeah.
Let's work through our options.
Yeah.
So some people really want you to just like make the choice for them. And I think that's really hard to navigate.
It's funny. That's what Jonah Hill did on his documentary with Studs. Like Studs was like straight up like, sometimes I'm just going to tell you what to do and you should do it because I know better. And like, I kind of was like, well, I'm not sure if that's the case, but also like, he's not always wrong. Like sometimes you will just know better. I think
it's like, I'll tell you what to do because I know better, meaning, I mean, I would never word it like that, but could we explore not scrolling TikTok till 4:00 in the morning?
Yeah. That's not really an opinion,
if that helps with, well, that could be how he's saying it.
Yeah.
Get off your phone after 10:00. Right. So I'm not telling you how to change your life, but I am telling you this could help.
Yeah. Okay.
So that one. And then
copying a feel is a weird one.
Ridiculous.
Well, it's kind of on brand with hugging clients.
Yeah. I'm not
how do you feel about that?
I'm not a big hugger.
I don't like hugging in general.
Yeah.
You want to hear a funny story?
Yeah.
Jess and I went on our first meeting date. Mm-hmm. like after Tinder.
Meeting date?
Meeting date.
What
like,
is that?
Because it's like, it's a date, but like you have never met. So that was our first date. But like we hadn't met and set up a date. You know, like you're in the grocery store and you meet someone like, hey, you want to go for coffee sometime? And then you, whatever. But like I'd literally never met her. So I just like was like, hey, we should meet. It's a meeting date. I don't know.
All right.
Whatever.
Sure.
Clearly this is on brand with how clinical this turned out to be. But like we ended up talking for like 4 hours at Steeps on White Ave. And at the end of the night, she's like, we obviously connected. We've been here for 4 hours. And I shook her hand. She was trying to hug me.
I don't hug.
And she's like, no, I'm a hugger. And I was like, okay. I'm like, I did not like her, but I shook her hand instead of hugging.
Awkward. Very awkward for both of you. Yeah.
I barely made her very confused the following day.
Yeah. I'm not really big on, like, I've never really been a hugger. I got best friends. I do not hug them when I see them.
I don't hug my friends either.
Like, no, I love them and they know they love. I just not.
When other humans touch me, I just recoil.
I don't do that. But I did when I was my practicum placement, my supervisor was like, you work with whatever the problem is for the client because I want you to learn all you can. So if the client comes and wants to learn how to have better social connections, and they want to work on how to do hugging and how to be more okay with personal touch, you'll help them with that. I'm like, I won't. Actually,
that's like,
I'm not going to practice hugging in session.
What's the sex therapy example of that?
I don't know.
Like, it's a little weird.
I see where you're coming from, but it's not for me, I'm not okay with it. And I'm not going to work in something that's not in my comfort zone.
Yeah,
if they want to work on hugging, I will find a referral that might be more appropriate.
Yeah. I don't think there's any context where physical contact working on is really appropriate. That's like, I want to work on kissing.
But I have had like clients who I haven't seen forever who've come back and said, hey, can I give you a hug before I leave?
And you say, no, I don't like the touch of other people's skin.
No. So in that situation, I'd be like,
Just
yeah,
Sean.
sure. Because it's been a long time and sure. And they asked and it was consensual, but I would never, ever, ever say, can I hug
Slippery slope,
you?
Lyndsay. It's a slippery slope.
I wouldn't do it the other way.
It's a slippery slope.
Anyway, this one is my favorite.
Which one? I swear to God, if you pick the top right, I'm going to kill you.
Why?
I don't know. Because I don't know why this is a topic that we should be like, oh, I wonder if it's good or not. Anyways, continue.
Because CBT is not the world.
I didn't say it was, but it's just totally valid.
Anyway.
Okay.
Telling clients you're proud of them.
Yeah, but what if I'm not proud of them ever?
Then I guess don't tell them you're proud of them.
Okay, I'm not a liar. There we go. Problem solved.
Oh my goodness. The problem is that the table is slowly breaking. So
okay, 1 second.
the mic was like resting on my chest. I'm like, what's happening right now?
Sorry, that's okay. Your $10 lack IKEA table.
This
is ruined.
Table has lasted us like 6 years, so it might be time.
I mean, it's like balsa wood. I think this is what they use in action movies to break over people because
I could get something white that matches the other drawer. Anyway, telling clients that you're proud of them. I don't know why this would be a thing of contention.
Like you tell them you're proud of them?
Always.
Yeah, me too.
Constantly.
I think it's a power. It's the contention is it's a power imbalance.
How?
Well, because it's like I'm in a position where I'm allowed to be proud of you.
I think they haven't heard it enough to say it themselves.
I'm just being devil's advocate. I tell
be
clients
devil's advocate because I don't understand it, so I want you to have the.
But I do it. But I do it as well, so I don't know what to tell you.
I don't care. Be the person who does.
Okay, so my first thought about like telling clients you're proud of them, like, is it's almost like puts you in a position of implied moral virtue. Like I am the arbiter of moral virtue, and therefore I deemed you to be a prideful individual based on my already proud existence.
Okay.
That's my initial thought. Like you couldn't possibly have lived up to the pride that I have already in my life. So I'm doling out the pride now, right? Like it's almost like I'm just a better person.
Okay. I mean, I'm going to throw this out to the 4 people listening. Has your therapist ever told you they're proud of them? And did you not like it?
Is the table breaking again? Okay. Just tilt this part up. Tilt this part up. There you go. Problem solved.
But it's still
it's not going to fall off.
Resting on me here in 10 minutes again.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm of the belief that some people say you should be proud of you. And if they're not, then they have to feel shame about the fact that they can't feel proud about themselves. No, it's just falling.
Okay, I'll fix it again.
How about I just hold it? Can I hold it any way I want? Like, is this fine?
As long as you're talking to the same place. Yeah, don't talk too much on one side of it. So there you go. This is our setup. All right.
I think that's the issue. You should be proud of you. If they're not, then what? And I think it's attachment work.
Yeah, it's probably is.
There are times where if someone says they're proud of me, I want to cry. Because
Makes me feel icky. What does that mean?
I needed to hear it.
I guess I'm just always proud of myself.
And I don't know if it's, and like, no like shade to my parents because they were fantastic, but kids grow up however they grow up and they don't get told very often, you're doing a really good job.
So the counter argument, because again, I'm just being devil advocate, is when a child comes to you with their like crayon scribbled drawing and you're like, wow, I'm so proud of you. What an awesome drawing. It's so pretty. They kind of look at you like, dopamine hit, and they walk away. And what it does is it terminates the moment for them to be introspective. So like my idea is the alternative is, wow, that rainbow is like so big. What's your favorite color in it? What made you want to think about drawing that? What inspired you? And then instead of them just going, pride, affirmation, run away, they learn to go, I love blue because blue makes me feel. And I was inspired because I was feeling this way. Like it opens up.
So why can't you do both? I am proud of you. Let's explore this drawing.
Well, because they're like 5 and like it's hard for them to comprehend all the different dialogue. But I just think that like the immediate reaction is to affirm your child, but then it doesn't lend for them to gain affirmation from themselves or worth from themselves, but from others.
Okay. And so now you have an adult in your room who wasn't told that enough or doesn't believe
so
that
now they
about
need to learn to do it alone.
How?
Well, not by having other people affirm them all the time.
Why not? I'm proud of you.
Because not everyone's going to affirm them.
I'm proud of you. I hope you are too.
Okay, fair, I guess. But in a perfect world, it's like I wouldn't need anyone to be proud of me because I have so much self-worth.
You're not there yet. You're in a therapy office. You're here for a reason.
I suppose.
And it's probably because you're not feeling a lot of self-love.
Yeah, you're not Stephen Tripodi, okay?
Right? So what is wrong with telling somebody you're proud of them?
Sociopathic pride for himself.
Especially if like it's long-term therapy and they've worked their ass off to get here. What is wrong with saying, I'm really proud of you?
Yeah, no, I agree. But I do this. So I mean, like, it's hard. I can't keep arguing the devil's advocate point.
Sorry, I guess. I'm telling you to change your values and beliefs so that I could have an argument.
It's like, no, I agree with you, Lyndsay. I don't know where you want me to go with this.
Because I want to fight about it.
Yeah, we agree about too much.
So yeah, I would like to know as open-minded as I can be, if there are people who don't like being told that, I would like to know how it feels from the other side.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because when people tell me they're proud of me, I like it.
We got to do a part 2. There's too many on here now that I like.
Okay.
And there's like big topics.
Okay, let's do one more.
Okay. What do you want to do?
You can pick.
You want to do Gabor Maté? Gabor Maté.
Yeah, sure.
Is he Spanish? That's Spanish or French?
No, he's Israeli.
Maté?
I think so.
He
got caught up in the whole...
He could be Israeli, that's fine, but the name doesn't sound Israeli.
Well, maybe he's not from Israel, but he was caught up in the whole Holocaust stuff.
He was in the Holocaust? He's that old?
Dude's like 80.
Oh, weird. Holy. Didn't know that.
So his whole self-disclosure around why he thinks trauma exists is his own story of how his mom realized they were in danger.
Oh, okay.
And gave him at like baby age to a stranger on the street. And so mom was just gone.
So abandoned him.
And this person doesn't smell like mom. He doesn't understand why they're gone and isn't sure what's happening. And then grew up vying for perfection. And so even when he was very successful in his work, he was never done. And he had a family and he had kids and his family was all like, stop and be with us. And he couldn't.
Do you find this an interesting narrative?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Almost like it's like the main plot narrative of Jack on Lost.
I don't know, because Lost was so boring.
Oh my God, Lyndsay, it's so good. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. We're watching it again and like every episode is just such an exposition of human behavior. You got to rewatch it.
I was in it until the weird mist ghost thing.
We'll talk later. Anyways, okay. Gabor Maté. Big problems with him. He's like the pseudo Jordan Peterson to me.
I would not go that far. I mean, my argument might be still the same for Jordan Peterson. I don't agree with him or like him.
Me neither.
Does that mean everything he said is wrong?
Of course not. He's obviously like intelligent. He's a psychologist. He has a PhD.
So why can't we accept the pieces that Gabor Maté gave us in knowledge and then argue the points that don't make any sense.
Because that's not how humans work, because humans live in tribes, and like they can't separate the art from the artist. They can't do it. It's like you can't have a beautiful solution if it was made by a morally problematic individual. Like they just won't accept the solution.
All right. So Mariana Trench's first album was meh, and their third one was amazing.
Yeah.
So I just scrubbed that, and the fourth one, I think they have a fourth one. I don't know, because it was boring and I didn't listen to it.
Because Mariana Trench is garbage anyways.
So do I scrap them fully?
But
your
that's what people
album
do.
Sucked. Therefore, none of your stuff was good.
That's what people do. They're big cognitive distortions walking around. I'm telling you. Like if Donald Trump, who is the most amoral individual in the world, it would seem like clearly at this point, who has no political ideology whatsoever besides just like narcissistic tendencies, all about him all the time. If he invented the solution to like renewable energy, like cheap, reliable, renewable energy, people would be like, nope, Donald Trump invented it. Can't be a good thing. We just struggle to separate.
I think those are two very That's too
supposed
extremes.
To be extreme. That's the point. The point is humans cannot seem to separate the creation from the creator.
But why can't I say, Gabor Mate, this, and this?
Yeah.
Change my perspective on therapy and trauma. And this, I don't really agree with.
Because I think that because we have the fundamental attribution bias, right? Where it's like, it doesn't matter whether the solution is good or the thought is good. It comes from a place of teleology, which is like the virtue of it is all that's important. We're not a means to an end species, right? It's like we always consider the virtue and intent. And if the intent is fundamentally problematic, like the person, any of their actions are also fundamentally problematic.
All right. So we found something we disagree on. Gabor Mate.
I don't disagree. I think I agree with you on that, actually. I just think that humans struggle to get away from that teleological approach, which is like virtue ethics. Like if you are not a virtuous individual, you cannot do virtuous things. And that's not true, obviously. Like people who commit big bad crimes can do virtuous things. They can do good, but we don't accept that because that's a human bias, the fundamental attribution error, right? At its core. And I think it's important for people to know this, but whatever.
All right. So we didn't disagree on anything. That's pretty.
No, we disagreed a little bit.
Okay. So are we doing a part 2 next week, or are we doing the music one?
We're doing the music one. We'll come back to this because there's a couple more in there that I think won't take very long because they're kind of fun.
Sure.
But teaser for next week.
I'm so excited to see if I can even have an objective conversation about psychology of music.
So this is funny you mentioned this because we're having 2 professional musicians come on. And I mean, like, this isn't just like, oh, we have a band. No, like they legit, like dueling pianos, recording, the whole deal, corporate events, that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their whole lives. And they're a husband and wife couple. And there's been a lot of books written about like music in your brain and how it works, and obviously dance and all sorts of things. And I think it's going to be a really interesting one. I think you'll struggle to.
I think I will too.
To be objective.
Yeah, I think I will too. I'm very curious to see if I can derail the whole thing.
You're going to.
Or if we can stay on point.
You're going to. Well, I got some specific questions.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can because there's so much to talk about, like how it impacts a feeling, how it impacts emotion, style, composition, all that stuff. It's like design again, but just music, right?
Mm-hmm. But design and like the game thing is cool because it's not an area that I'm interested in, but I'm not like, it's in my
but you're
bones.
a lay person about music, but they are experts about music.
So am I going to fangirl here?
Yeah, maybe.
Or am I going to just like go off?
Yeah, you're going to fangirl.
I don't know what's going to happen.
I don't know.
I'm very excited to see how it goes.
Sounds good.
As soon as you were like, let's do psychology of music, I'm like, shit. This is great or not. I don't know yet, but I'm excited.
It's going to be good. Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about this after. Okay. Anyways, this has been a good one.
It's been something.
I'm Lindsay.
Every time.
I'm kidding. Now,
it's becoming like a conditioned response for me.
I know. I'm Stephen.
Are you doing that on purpose?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm Stephen.
I'm Lyndsay.
See you later.
Said you love me, you were faking. One look into your eyes, I saw the secrets that you hide.
Thanks for listening listening to today's episode. If you loved what you heard, don't forget to subscribe and leave a 5-star review. Not only is your feedback incredibly valuable, but it also helps recommend the show to other curious minds like yourself.
Hate you, you can't hide.